dairy milk chocolate. Now this chocolate's quite warm, it's at about 45 degrees, so we need to cool it down. We want to cool it down to about the 27, 28 degree mark. And that's because if we left the chocolate at too high of a temperature and we put it into our molds and put it to set, that chocolate would take a very, very long time to cool down, and even if it did harden up, we'd have a very difficult time getting them out of the mold, and that's because it would start to stick to them. And even if you got some of those chocolates out, they would have hot marks on them, they'd have streak marks on them, and they just wouldn't be a great texture. They'd be quite dull in colour as well. So doing this gives us a lovely smoothness and shine to our chocolate and gives it a lovely look as well. Also, when you bite into a bit of chocolate, you don't want it to be quite crumbly, you don't want it to be soft, you want it to have a nice little snap to it. So doing this, which is called tempering, rearranges all of those cocoa and sugar crystals inside of the chocolate to give us that nice little snap as well. So nowadays we have machines like the one behind me over there that does this job for us. But this is how the women in the Victorian era would pick up that chocolate, place it on top, give it a nice little push around like so. Just like that to get it nice and coated into those holes of the mould. Then give it a little tap and then they'd scrape off that excess. And like I said, chocolate was quite expensive, so they wouldn't want to waste any of that chocolate. They would just put all of this into another mould. So you're almost done, but as you can see there are some little gaps there and on each. So once you were done with that, you could leave these to set and that would be your dairy milk chocolates done. But if you wanted these to be filled with anything, so if you wanted these to have caramel inside or down and give it a shake, that chocolate does not move very easily. So we need to give it a couple of bangs on the table like so. And the chocolate should start to fall out and give us some lovely Cadbury WORLD chocolate rain. And you want to tap out as much of that as you can so that you're then left, because on the back there it's a bit frosted over and also it is a lot darker in colour compared to the chocolate on the table. So this should probably take about 30 to 40 minutes in your fridge, but in the basement or cold room back then it would have probably taken maybe half a day, maybe a full day depending on the temperature of the room. So that's what we're looking for, so we're going to give this a bit of a twist, bit of a bang, 3, 2, 1. There we go, and those are our chocolates. Smooth and shiny and ready to be packed, guys. So like I said, you can come have a look, but you cannot eat this chocolate. It is just for demo use, but in the next room you're going to get a pot of melted dairy milk and 2 toppings of your choice. If you have any questions?